You're wondering what Accenture's application process is like? Well, I'm very happy to share with you my experience with Accenture's application here in the UK. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the video. Like the video says, I'll be sharing with you guys my experience with Accenture's application process. But before getting into that, I'd like to share with you guys my job application strategy. And of course, I started applying to Accenture just last year, and in my first application, I was rejected. I applied to Accenture's consulting analyst position. Of course, my background is accounting and I don't have any tech experience. I just put in the application and I was rejected immediately. But I was able to identify the fact that Accenture is a very competitive company, and to get into Accenture, you need to be strategic. So what I did was, in order to set myself apart, I identified that Accenture had a program for underrepresented people like myself, and I was able to apply to the EBF, which was the Empowering Black Future, and of course the Social Mobility Program. Immediately I applied to the Social Mobility Program, I knew I had a chance. And that leads me to the first stage of the application process. The first stage is the online application. You have to fill in your academic experience and of course your professional experience. If you have any extracurricular activities you've engaged in, the more you fill in, the better your application gets, because what you need is a quality application. And that leads me to the next stage, the online application. In this part, you'll be given the situational judgmental test, you'll be given the numerical test, and of course you'll be given a logical reasoning test. My top tip here will be for you to identify what Accenture's values are, and of course what skills are required in the role you've applied to, and make sure you can tailor your response to all of these requirements. Bear in mind that you also need to identify what your own values are. So if your values align with Accenture, it makes your online application easy. In my own case, immediately I did this part, the next day I was informed that I was successful, and of course I was advanced to the next stage. And that leads me to the next stage. One thing I like about Accenture is that the application process is straightforward, no wasting time. And the next stage is the assessment center. Of course, budget at least 4 to 5 hours of your day, because it's going to be a bit intense and you need to be physically and mentally ready. So the first stage in my own case was the icebreaker. Listen, any typical assessment center, you usually get to do the icebreaker first. In this particular one, the recruiters will always make sure that they can put you in the best possible position to be ready for the interview, because they know you are under high pressure. In this one, you just want to make sure you enjoy it. They probably ask you what you enjoy doing. But before then, I'll send my timetable, so I already have an idea of what the assessment center would look like. That leads me to the next stage of the assessment center, which was the group work. Like any assessment center, you work with a team, and of course the idea is to basically see how you interact and collaborate with other people you've actually not met before. You'll probably be given a case study and you'll be required to solve a problem and give a report back to the assessor. So my tip here is make sure you pay good attention to and collaborate effectively well with your team. Make sure that you manage the time effectively well, and of course do not talk over someone else. And that's basically it. You cannot do no wrong in a group work. In any assessment center, I always find group work as the easiest element, because it's just very easy for me to do, and that's just it. That leads me to the next process in the assessment center, which in my own case was the assessor's conversation. Now this is broken down into two. The first one is the tech showcase, and the next one is the one-to-one interview. The one-to-one interview, you get asked motivational questions. My top tip here will be for you to understand what motivational questions are, understand why you want to join Accenture, what's your motivation for joining Accenture, and of course understand that Accenture is a global company. How would you cope working with different people from different backgrounds? So these are the top tips I'll give in this part, and I genuinely believe if you practice well enough, do some mock interview with your friends, you'll be fine. That leads me to the tech showcase. For the tech showcase, it's more of a presentation. Try to understand what tech trend is reigning. Accenture every year always release a tech initiative. They will tell you which one you should use for your presentation. Identify what tech solution is very interesting to you, and of course this is to solve a problem in any industry that Accenture usually work in. So this one is straightforward. Practice well enough, identify what decent structure you should use for your presentation, and you should be fine. Listen, the assessor is there to help you and not to complicate things, so just enjoy the conversation. So the next stage in the assessment center is a massive challenge. To be honest, it's very difficult to tell you what to do here, but what I will say is remember what you did in your online testing, and of course you'll be tested on a particular communication skills, which is writing. So what you want to do is ensure that you can improve on how well you can type, and you should be very fine. And the last one of the assessment center, which is actually one reason why a lot of people have been rejected, is the 10 challenge. In this one, it's more of a game. What I'll just say is enjoy it. There's really nothing much to say than imagine yourself playing a game. You can't practice, you can't prepare for this one. Just Picture yourself playing a game and having fun with your friends. My top advice is manage your time well, because it's 10 questions and you have time. And of course, don't forget to enjoy it. And basically that's it with Accenture's applications. I'm currently building a community on WhatsApp, and I believe that WhatsApp have a limit. Over time, we're going to move to Telegram. If you would like to join this community, drop a comment in the comment section. And of course, follow me on Instagram. I'm very happy to respond back to you and add you to the community. Listen, if you find this very insightful, subscribe to my channel. I'm very happy to see you guys in the next video. La prochaine.